New York City's, I'm not even going to play no games. This is the front office, and it's about to go down. Sam,
Yes, sir.
we do this podcast not for to help us lead the life of glamour and glitz. We do this podcast because we love this basketball team and we put a little bit of an unhealthy amount of attention to it. We do this podcast so that our fans could hear from people who actually are invested, who watch the games every night, who knows the teams, who knows the team culture, DNA. Because we don't get that on regular radio, and you know we're fans of folks, and you know what, I listened to Evan and Carton. Uh, you know, Evan makes me even like Carton. That's how good he is at what he's doing, and
I'm not there
but
yet.
but we're not doing this to be Evan Roberts, right? Like you're gonna be like a for real lawyer, and I it may not seem like it on Twitter. I've done pretty well for myself in my time. So we're like actual grown ups and people who do shit. And I'm not trying to start a second or third career. I do this for the love. I do this for our culture. I do this because we need our voices out there to rep this team and talk about this team and make a platform for what we're trying to pursue and the greatness that we're trying to be. But this is embarrassing. It's hard to come on and get on the mic and do this pod and basically have to repeat the same things every night. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm not Skip Bayless. I'm not Uncle Shay Shay. I'm Eve Darbouz. And I don't want to come on here and slander my team. I don't want to come on here and talk crazy. I don't want to come on here and say, I'm right. I don't want to be right. I want Sean Marks to be right. I get joy when he does his job. But this thing that we're watching, and I know KD is not there. I know Kevin Durant kind of got shortchanged with this COVID thing. I really would not like to understand who are these people that are around him and only him to have this thing happening to him over and over again. But I don't even want to mitigate that. I think it's fortuitous that Kevin Durant didn't play because it's revealing some major holes, some major problems. Can you find the quote? I could find it, but I don't know if you have it in front of you. If great minds, I just pulled up my stats, so I lost the quote. But I do have it because multiple people have sent it to me on Twitter. But here we go. Steve Nash said these words: personal pride, connectivity, and coming together. Just resistance. This is professional sports. The other team is talented and capable. We're short-handed and small. That, my friends, Steve Nash is trying to catch an Atkinson, right? Because Atkinson, I believe it now. I believe it with all my heart. Tell me if I'm lying, partner. I believe that Kenny Atkinson at the end said to Sean Marks, I can't defend with these players. We're too small. And I think Steve Nash is trying to send smoke signals, some type of message to save him, for the media to actually do their job The beat writers who sit here and watch the games with the fan base, everyone in the fan base is going, God damn, we're too small. We're too small. We're too small. We can't defend. DeAndre Jordan is old. And I watch time and time again, they keep saying, oh, it's the defense. Oh, it's the effort. You could have put these motherfuckers on amphetamines and dust, and they couldn't have gone out there and defended this team. You just have so many jumps in your career. Clearly, DeAndre Jordan is holding on to the rest of his for the playoffs. He can't play anymore. He's finished. And if KD was here, he would have just it wouldn't be so clear. We probably would have won tonight. We would have came back, won. Everyone would have felt good. We would have all slapped five. It would have like, yep, it's not. Yeah, we have flaws, but we're gonna be fine when the buyout market comes. No, we're not. I'm sorry. Take the mic, Sam. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I think what's going on is exactly what you're like all the frustrations you have are the same ones as me, and I think like what we try to do on this pod, doing something like a little bit differently than what other people do, is not repeat the same crap over and over again. But it's funny with a night like tonight when you have the same 3 to 4 things that come up. You have like the terrible interior D, you have lackadaisical like passing, you have poor effort in rebounding, you have like the same stuff with DJ, you have like the whole like playing down to their competition thing, and like from that perspective, there's just really not that much to say. And I think there's a way to kind of separate the or to diagnose their problems between like, look, there's absolutely no chance that any of the 3 major guys are like getting moved or anything like that. Like it's a 0% chance. There's no point even really doing a deep dive on it because it's just not happening.
I'm just gonna pray silently in my heart. But you're right.
Yeah, but it's just there's no chance, and there's also no chance that Nash is going anywhere, honestly, unless he decides he doesn't want to do it. Which that to me is that I felt from the moment he was hired. I was like, I could see him just like not wanting to do it, but like once he's in, and he's too close with Marks, obviously. But I think from a 30,000 foot view, and I tweeted this, and this is how I feel, and this is why I just don't really. This is why I don't lose my mind as much after these games, is because look, the team is unbelievably cocky going into all these games. They and at the same time they also don't really care about the regular season, and at the same time, because they're cocky and because they have 3 superstars that every opposing team knows is going to be all over Twitter and all over ESPN if you beat them, they are constantly getting everyone's best shot, and so because of that, like they're getting the Pistons on their best nights, they're getting the Cavs on their best nights, whatever it is, and like that's something they have to deal with as a great team. Do I think that they are in a dire place right now? Like, no, because I think that they've basically proven that they can play with like every single great team that they've played against. But do I think that they have big time issues? Like, yeah, I think they definitely have stuff. And I think the lack of effort that they've shown, just from a pure, like, this is your, like, kind of like this is your job, and like you have incredibly loyal like season ticket holders and fans. Like you should be showing up more to what we're doing. Because I mean, like, look, like today's game was how like all these games kind of continue to feel like, slow. Like they come out looking unbelievably terribly. Then they kind of pick it up. Then they make a run in the third quarter, and then they kind of like slow down again because then the starters from the other team come back in. And it's just the same thing over and over again. And I think the real question now is like, what can they really do with the roster to make them better? And I think like the 2 or 3 names you have to look at is like like, do they trade this like Dinwiddie like injured expiring thing, which I don't even know like what the exact rules are, and or like, I mean, I feel like this DJ thing is like really becoming like, I don't care how close he is with KD and Kyrie. Like, I mean, Harden looks like he's had it with him, and the entire body language of everybody on the team
and
when he's in
and that's
is
where
so.
and that's where I want to jump in, because I want to address the part where like the theory of that it's effort. They're coming into games cocky. For the other teams, that this is their game 7 in the finals when they play the Nets. I'm gonna debunk that by what James Harden did tonight. I will always appreciate James Harden for the way that he got on DeAndre Jordan. The only problem I have with that is they picked DeAndre Jordan.
Yep.
Okay, DeAndre Jordan wouldn't be on this team if James Harden and his boy Kevin Durant wasn't like, yo, I gotta have my boy on this team. He got signed because Kevin wanted him. He got kept because Kevin wanted him. And Harden wouldn't be here unless the organization viewed him as an option. So it's ridiculous. Like, everything that Harden said to him was right. You've got to move your feet. You've got to get to your man. You're not closing out. But what Harden doesn't understand, and which is why players should never run teams. Yep. NBA players do not understand their mortality. When Kevin Durant is saying to Sean Marks, Sean, go get DeAndre Jordan for me. That dude, man, if he's playing with me, his defense is going to be elite. That's the way players think. They don't realize that their physical body is a ticking time bomb. That any moment it's over. Most of the people that were drafted with DeAndre Jordan are no longer in the league. He's a person who depends on all. It's not savvy. It's not guile. He is all fast twitch muscle. He is all run, jump, lob, catch lobs, and dunk. And when you lose a step, it's not even like he lost a major step. It's not even like he lost to the athleticism to the point where he's like one of us. No, he is still a super athlete. He's still super great. But that fraction of a second, that little bit that gave you just a bit of an advantage that lets you dunk over people, that lets you block a shot, that lets you recover after you make a mistake, that's over for him. That's done. But the hypocrisy of it is James Harden thinks it's effort. He picked him. So when he's yelling at DeAndre, I appreciate him wanting to win. That's what tells me that it's not effort. It's ability. What Sean Marks has done forces us to think about the team in ways that if it wasn't Sean Marks who did it, we wouldn't think that way. I know that sounds convoluted, but partner, stick with me on this one.
I'm following.
He's been signing all these small players, all these guards. Even Dinwiddie in his second year on the team is like, I don't understand. Why do we have all these guards? But he kept on doing it. He believed that if he had more ball handlers on the floor, more floor spaces on the floor, that all he needed was one big. As long as I have a lobs and dunk center, I can run this philosophy that this entire team is built on. So because we believe in Sean Marks so much, even though we know 6 foot tall Bruce Brown, and we know looking at Bruce Brown, he's not 6'4", right? 6 foot tall Bruce Brown is not guarding Bey. is not doing anything against Grant.